Let me tell you something real. The moment you decide that average is acceptable, you've already told life you're okay with being overlooked. Average is sneaky. It doesn't show up loud. It shows up as comfort. It shows up as I'll do it tomorrow. It shows up as knowing you could give more, but choosing not to because what you're doing right now feels safe. And safety is the enemy of greatness. The people who win at the highest level didn't get there because they were lucky. They got there because one day they looked at an average life and said, "Not me." You don't drift into excellence. You drift into average. Nobody wakes up and accidentally becomes disciplined. Nobody stumbles into greatness. But people accidentally waste years of their life every single day by settling, and that's why deciding that average is the enemy is the first real shift. Not when you get motivated. Not when things get easy. But when you make a decision in your soul that you are done living beneath your potential. See, losers negotiate with their limits. They ask questions like, is this good enough? Is this really necessary? Can I skip today? Winners don't negotiate. They eliminate the option. They don't ask if they feel like showing up. They show up because that's who they are. That mindset shift is everything. When average is no longer an option, excuses don't survive. They die naturally. And here's the part most people don't want to hear. Average feels good in the short term. It lets you sleep in. It lets you avoid confrontation with yourself. It lets you blend in and not be judged. But average will cost you in the long run. It will cost you your dreams. It will cost you your confidence. It will cost you the respect you could have had for yourself if you had just pushed a little harder when it mattered. The monster mindset doesn't wake up asking for permission. It wakes up with urgency. It understands that time doesn't care about your feelings. Every day you stay average, someone else is outworking you. Someone else is sharpening their edge. Someone else is becoming the person you said you wanted to be. That should bother you, not in a negative way, but in a way that lights a fire. You were not created to blend in. You were created to stand out, and standing out requires discomfort. It requires being misunderstood. It requires being willing to look crazy chasing something nobody else can see yet. Average will tell you to slow down so you don't offend people. Greatness will tell you to speed up and let results speak. When you decide average is the enemy, your standards change. You stop celebrating small effort and start demanding consistency. You stop lying to yourself about almost and trying. You understand that effort without commitment is just motion, not progress. Monsters don't dabble. They commit, and let me be clear, this isn't about perfection, it's about intention. It's about waking up every day with the mindset that you owe your best to your future, not to the crowd, not to social media, to the vision that keeps you up at night. The moment you raise your standards, your life will rise to meet them. So hear me when I say this. The war is not out there. It's in you. And the day you declare average the enemy is the day you officially step into the fight. Let me tell you the truth most people don't want to accept. Your feelings are not a reliable leader. They change with the weather, with sleep, with opinions, with pressure. If winners waited until they felt ready, felt confident, felt motivated, nothing great would ever get done. The separation happens when you stop letting your emotions run your life, and you start letting your discipline make the decisions. There are days you will wake up tired, unmotivated, doubting yourself. That doesn't mean you're failing. That means you're human. But monsters don't give tired a vote. They don't let frustration decide the schedule. They understand that feelings show up loud, but they don't get the final say. Action does. Commitment does. The work still has to be done. even when your mind is screaming for comfort. See, losers move when it feels good. Winners move because it needs to be done. That's the difference. That's why some people stay stuck year after year, and others keep climbing even when life hits them hard. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the excitement wears off, and that's not sexy. It's not glamorous, it's repetitive, it's lonely, but it's powerful. You're not always going to feel strong. You're not always going to feel confident, but strength and confidence are built by action, not emotion. Every time you move forward despite how you feel, you are teaching your mind who's in control. You are building trust with yourself. And that trust becomes unbreakable over time. Let me be clear. Outworking your feelings doesn't mean ignoring them. It means not being ruled by them. It means acknowledging the fear, the doubt, the exhaustion, and still showing up anyway. Because growth doesn't ask if you're comfortable, it demands consistency, and consistency doesn't care about your mood. The monster mindset understands that motivation is rented, and the rent is due every single day. Some days you pay it with energy. Some days you pay it with pain. Some days you pay it with tears, but you pay it because the cost of not paying is regret. And regret weighs heavier than any hard day ever will. Most people quit on days that don't even matter in the long run. They quit on ordinary days, not on the hardest day of their life, on a normal day when it just felt inconvenient. Monsters don't quit on ordinary days, they dominate them. They understand that the ordinary days are the training ground for extraordinary moments. When your feelings say slow down, discipline says keep moving. When your feelings say you're not ready, discipline says start anyway. When your feelings say quit, discipline says one more step, and those steps add up. They add up to results people call luck. They add up to success people don't understand. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to feel inspired. Move first, work first, commit first. The feelings will catch up later. And when they do, they won't control you anymore. You'll control them. Let me shift your perspective for a moment. The thing you keep praying to escape might be the very thing shaping you for what you asked for. Pain is not a sign that something is wrong. Pain is evidence that something is changing. And the reason winners separate themselves is because they stop treating pain like an enemy and start treating it like tuition. You don't get the lesson without paying the price. Most people run the moment life gets uncomfortable. They think struggle means they chose the wrong path. But monsters understand this. If it doesn't hurt, it's probably not growing you. Comfort never demanded more from you. Comfort never built discipline. Comfort never forged character. Pain does, every single time. See, talent will only take you so far. Motivation will fade. Confidence will shake. But pain will introduce you to a version of yourself you didn't know existed. When things fall apart, when the pressure is heavy, when nobody is coming to save you, that's when the real work begins. That's when excuses get exposed. That's when commitment gets tested. Losers ask, why me? Winners ask, what is this preparing me for? Same pain. Different mindset. One breaks, the other builds, and the difference is not strength, it's interpretation. Monsters don't personalize pain. They don't make it emotional. They make it instructional. They study it. They learn from it. They extract value from it. You didn't lose. You learned. You didn't fail. You trained. You didn't get rejected. You got redirected. But you'll never see it that way if you're always trying to avoid discomfort. Growth demands resistance. Muscles don't grow without tension. Minds don't sharpen without pressure. Lives don't change without sacrifice. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Pain doesn't stop when you level up. It changes. New levels come with new pressure. Bigger dreams bring bigger responsibilities. The monster mindset doesn't say, I'll be happy when it's easy. It says, I'll rise because I'm built for hard. That's a different frequency. That's a different mentality. When you stop asking for less pain and start asking for more strength, everything shifts. When you stop running from the fire and learn how to walk through it, fear loses its grip. Pain becomes familiar. And what's familiar stops being intimidating. It becomes fuel, the nights you cried alone, the days you felt behind. The moments you questioned everything, none of that was wasted. That was conditioning. That was preparation. That was life saying, if you can survive this, you can handle what's coming next. But only if you don't quit. Monsters don't numb the pain. They don't hide from it. They don't pretend it doesn't exist. They face it head on and say, you're not here to destroy me. You're here to develop me. And when you adopt that mindset, pain loses its power to stop you. So don't curse the struggle. Don't resent the pressure. Don't wish it away. Let it build you, sharpen you, and harden your resolve. Because the pain you survive today becomes the strength people admire tomorrow. Let me tell you where real separation happens, not on the stage, not when the cameras are on, not when people are clapping and calling your name. The true difference between winners and everyone else is built in silence. It's built in moments nobody will ever post, like, or celebrate. That's where monsters are made. Most people need an audience to perform. They need encouragement, recognition, validation. The moment the praise stops, the effort drops, but monsters don't need noise. They create momentum in the quiet. They understand that if you can't work without applause, you're not really committed. You're just entertained by attention. When nobody is watching, excuses feel louder. Quitting feels easier. That's when character speaks. That's when habits reveal themselves. Anyone can go hard when people are cheering. Anyone can post progress when it looks good. But who are you when it's just you and the work? No pressure from the crowd. No energy from the room. Just discipline. The monster mindset understands that success is built in the dark. Early mornings, late nights, repetition that feels boring, progress that feels invisible. There are seasons where you're doing everything right, but nothing is happening yet. That's the test. That's where most people quit, not because it's too hard, but because it feels unrewarded. Winners know something others don't. They know the work is never wasted. Every unseen rep matters. Every lonely step counts. Every disciplined decision compounds, even when there's no immediate return. That's why when the opportunity finally shows up, monsters are ready. Not lucky ready. Silence exposes your real reason. If your reason is applause, you'll disappear when it gets quiet. But if your reason is purpose, you'll keep going even when it hurts and nobody notices. Monsters move with intention, not validation. They don't need permission to be great. There will be times when people doubt you, forget you, or count you out. Good, that's space, that's freedom. That's where you build without distraction. While others are busy explaining themselves, monsters are busy improving themselves. They let results do the talking. The dark is not punishment, it's preparation, it's teaching you focus. It's building your endurance, it's stripping away ego, because if you can stay consistent in isolation, pressure won't break you in public. If you can win in silence, noise won't distract you when success comes. And when the lights finally turn on, people will think it happened overnight. They'll never see the mornings you wanted to quit, the nights you questioned yourself, the days you kept going with no feedback. That's fine. You didn't do it for them anyway, because monsters aren't born under spotlights. They're forged in the dark.